All right, what's up, guys? This is CafeTrader. Hope everybody had a good week. Very crazy news with the tariffs. We're going to talk about how that affects our current projections, our current sentiment in the market. I charted all of the Mag 7, and this is really an update. We're going to look at three of them today. We're going to look at Tesla, Apple, and Amazon. I think these were some of the most surprising to people. So let's jump into it, starting with Tesla. Here in the chart, we're looking at what's called a consolidation. What's important to note though is where the players are in the market. And that's what I've marked for everyone here is where are the players? Now, something to note here is that we are already in what's called the demand zone. So when I put bars up like top of demand, bottom of demand, what these are insinuating is loose buyers. Not all buyers are just, I might call them a player, a buyer, a big buyer, but really it's collective buying. What we were trying to capture is where's the channeled, the concentrated buying and selling. If we can find that, we can give a good projection of how the market's going to react and how we can find good pricing. So it's all dependent on how to find these real buyers and real sellers. But with a catalyst like tariffs, technicals can sometimes just go out the window. So, looking at Tesla, we still need to see what kind of reaction we're going to get from these big buyers. If it's a hot reaction, if it's kind of moves away real quick from those big buyers, we're going to know buyers are really active in this area. This is going to give us confidence as investors, as traders, that we can take a long or buy alongside these buyers. We don't necessarily want to get in front of these buyers. You're probably hearing about a lot of different stocks right now that people are kind of bag holding because they're getting in front of it. They're trying to buy as it's dropping. For newer investors, you don't want to jump in front of these people. You want to see some buyers step in first. Apple's in a very similar situation. We just had a huge seller come into Apple. Why? Well, again, that major catalyst with the tariffs that really affects Apple and that cuts into their margins. Again, I'm not a fundamental analyst, but this is why, I should say, this is a contributing reason why we got this reaction here. Now, I'm going to open up this chart for you. I'm going to open up all of the buyers and sellers here, the key levels. We notice that at this bottom of supply here, this line here, we note that it had a hard time getting up into this area. This was telling us that the seller was active. Now we notice we had a close. They kept the bulls off here, tried to go up, hot reaction down. Sellers are very active in this area. If we look a little closer, we can see that now as we get up towards that supply, they're starting to sell into it. They found some buyers, started to shoot up, started getting very tight. And then as it cracked it was having a hard time staying above it. Sellers were just shoving into these buyers, and eventually they cracked. Without the tariff news, I still think this test of buyers was highly probable. But with tariff news, a catalyst like this, we just shoved right into it. It ignored all the technicals. Bear that in mind that you should be a lot more cautious coming into these next couple of weeks, as a lot of people are uncertain of what kind of escalations can happen. Now, these levels still are intact, but with the close like this, we can see that buyers really backed off from when I had initially marked them. So that's it for Apple. Amazon. A lot of traders saw that this was very reminiscent of an ascending wedge. If you guys are not familiar with patterns, don't worry about it. You just need to know that this signifies that bulls, that buyers, are starting to lose strength. So this gap down, even if there was no catalyst, this was still something that was expected by technical traders. Now, I don't think anyone was expecting a huge 8.5% gap down, but we gap down nonetheless. Another thing to note is we rejected off these strong sellers even before the tariff news came in. So one of the trades, I posted it either on this Friday or this Monday, that if we test, come off, get up into here in this demand, and buyers can't close into that level, this would have been a good entry for some puts, maybe 1 to 2 weeks out. I highlighted that in my article. You can check me out on Trading. You could give it a look, and I'm going to update these weekly. Another point to note with Amazon is we closed in this medium demand. I was expecting a hot reaction off of 218 if bulls were still convicted. Again, the catalyst, technicals start to go out the window. You have to think of it like the battleground that you're playing on. Everyone's just repositioned. Everybody made a bunch of new moves. We're back in the smoke again. We can't see clearly and make out where they are yet. We need to see who's established where. On a really big macro scale, we can tell. But this is more of these micro 1 to 2 month out moves that we're trying to assess and trying to navigate. I still think this heavy demand level here, the 200 and 203s, is still going to be really, you should get a reaction here. And then this extreme demand, which was from previous tariffs, a lot of people are going to be looking to step in there at that level. So that's it for Tesla, Apple, Amazon. Please go check out my trading view. Also, we're going to be looking at crypto. I've charted Ethereum, I've charted Bitcoin, I charted XRP, even Doge. We're going to be looking at Solana in a little bit. All of them had really big moves today, and all of them are affected by these tariffs. From when I published, the players are changing. We're going to be looking also on my other channel. I'm going to post a link in the description. We're going to be looking at our market recap from what our system took on futures trading. We had a really, really good week on futures. I post everything on X. Also follow me on X. You get the live updates. Just see where my entries, my take profits are as they come. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. If you made it all the way through the video, appreciate you so much. Hope to see you guys next time.